Hello folks. GLHF. This is a round 4 1 vs 1 between Orb and Max, both from the realm, in a PA seasonal opener. Max down here in red by the South Pole. Orb in a zone over here in purple. Gonna put my caps lock on so you can see the build orders as they develop. A little bit of lag as always. But what is a good game without a bit of lag, eh? So Orb going for an interesting opening. He's gone for 2 mechs, an energy, storage, mechs, energy, and then a bot factory. Going down here for Max. Something Max normally does is rush T2 air. However, this time he seems to have gone for bot factory instead. Rather curious. Typical triple mechs energy opening, of course. Judging back up to Orb, however, we see it's starting to take shape, following up with an air factory down here, potentially for T2 air rush. Max already almost finished his bot factory. It's almost, there we are, yellow wipe back. Orb a little slower getting to his factory, but he has gone for an energy storage opening instead, which is definitely interesting. There's his bot factory at last. About time. Right, while the players do that, let's have a look at their expansion options. Max will definitely expand back this way around the South Pole and stay sort of within this region. Orb, however, will have to walk a little bit, but he'll expand probably around here and potentially down and around here as well. But certainly, his opening spawns are relatively equal for both players, although Max probably has a little bit less place to walk. But we've just had to rehost about 3 times to get even remotely fair spawns, and even had to change systems. So, Orb here getting out some fabricators from his bot factory. Gonna get up some eco expansions and mechs from that. Getting out a second fabricator, preferably to assist this one in what he's doing. Going back down to the South Pole, we see Max spamming up with his energy there. There's his air factory. This is a build I have seen him use many a time. We will definitely see a T2 air rush here. Well, I say definitely, most likely. Because nothing is ever set in stone. Well, that's also debatable. Let's just ignore that. So, no docks out yet, no defense there for Max other than his commander. And a reasonably good movement distance between them. No scouting yet from Orb. A couple of docks, however. And he's beginning his air factory now with his commander, so that's going to go up a fair bit faster than Max, who's only using 2 fabricators on it. His commander is sat doing energy down here. Now got 3 fabricators on it. Potentially stalling on eco there, maybe? I don't think so, it's going up quite fast. So there's it, gone up now. Probably a Firefly maybe? Or... oh. Now that I didn't expect. 4 bot factories. He needs to get a Firefly out, indeed he does for the scouting. I did not expect the bot factories there. The Firefly is already out from OrbNet, so Orb has a little bit of an advantage on the scouting front. He's going to come round here. Let's just follow that Firefly. As it goes in the wrong direction. Max is a little bit safe. His Firefly, however, goes in the wrong direction as well. Orb now getting up his bot factories. Queued them up nicely, and the Hummingbirds also probably on a repeat build queue now from his own spawn. Also got his commander set doing energy, 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 energy. And obviously the line build there was negated due to the mechs being in the wrong place. A few docks coming out as well now, just in case there's the initial defense. And here we have some anti-air towers as well to defend against any potential air rush. Hummingbirds coming out as well, and docks from Max. Definitely be interesting to see what these players do. Hummingbirds, they're getting the scout, or did they get the scout? Let's have a look. Yes, they did. Has Max managed to scout, however? Yes, indeed, he has. So both players know where they are. Each other are, rather. Docks coming out from Max. Interesting that he hasn't gone for T2 air. I mean, that really is amazing. Orb, however, is still doing the Hummingbirds, so both players are really fighting for control of the skies. A little bit of lag, unfortunately. Such a game as this, the last thing I want is lag. Docks moving out from Max now, going in the right direction. A little bit of a staging point here with these 2 fabbers and a couple of docks. Hopefully they'll get this up by the time Max's docks reach them. Indeed they will. Potentially even get the second one up as well, but at best that'll maybe do 1 or 2 kills before they're traded off for. But the radar goes up as well. They'll see those coming in, and they'll then realise, maybe we don't want to build these mechs just yet, and move some docks up indeed. Here come the docks reinforcements as Max's docks move in on Orb. Orb, however, continuing to get up his bot factories. Ideal. The anti-air now defending as much as possible, but with the docks there assisting and the fabricator building, easily repelled force there. No losses from Orb whatsoever. Very, very well done. Although it looks as though I think one of the fabricators was lost indeed. So there were 2 fabricators there initially. Now only 1 survives. Second wave of docks ready from Max, already on the move, with even more bot factories following up. So at this point he's still building hummingbirds. Orb getting a lot of expansion up towards the north. He needs to get out more docks. He really desperately needs to do that. He's getting up a fair bit of radar actually around the place, just in case of the odd flank, which looks like Max is going to be trying to do with his move commands over round here and up and in. Very interesting that he's bypassing this little eco expansion here and is opting instead to go straight into the base. Moving past a little bit of metal planet debris sat on the moon. Moving up now. And indeed, there's Orb's next bot factory line. Right in the firing line of Max. I doubt this will be finished in time, and the commander probably wants to move down as well, but the docks definitely need to get there. But it's going to be a relatively interesting battle, because we got, in effect, single file here against a blob. That's not going to go in Max's favour at all. Plus the bot factories here are going to be completed and then start to help him out as well. Orb already beginning to micro his bots to avoid getting hit, hopefully. And now it's blob versus blob, plus more bot factories and reinforcements. Looks as though Max's forces will be repelled in this offensive. But where's the next wave? Is it ready? Indeed, it looks like it is. A lot of docks in this next wave, because all of these bot factories are now getting on to the stage of completion. So many bots from all players now. From both players, rather. Orb, however, just continually expanding, as is Max now on the south. Moving back up here, Max's force was completely annihilated and repulsed. This bot factory queue really needs to be completed and continued. These fabbers now coming down to do it, or we'll transition to air instead. That's good too. So interesting that Orb has elected to do this at this time, while Max continues to press in with the bots, but he obviously has got the signal that Max is not going T2 air, and therefore he himself can maybe get some bumblebees, because of course bumblebees do splash damage, and when bots bundle up like this, a group of bumblebees can really devastate a docks offensive, or even a slammer offensive. I've sent about 10 bumblebees on a group of 20 slammers and decimated them, quite literally. Little bit of lag now, I'm afraid, so whoop, there we go, catching up a little bit. A bit more, of course, to follow, because that's my internet. Apologies for that. If it continues, I will elect to cast in chrono-cam. But we see here this group of docks going to move up, probably going to decide to attack this mech's expansion this time, and the radar as well. All of the docks grouping up against Max's offensive now. So we're going to have healers against the AA tower. We're going to have docks reinforcements consistent. The AI tower is going to take pot shots. Hopefully we won't teleport just yet, so that we can see what happens. But it looks as though Orb's defenses here are going to be overwhelmed. So at this point he really wants to keep a glob of docks back in his base so that he doesn't quite lose them just yet. Interesting that we still don't see any bumblebees. More lag, of course, as is a staple in anything you actually want good internet for, we always know. Sod's Law dictates. And those bots there streaming through that expansion there. Very few losses at all. 6 mechs now down from Orb. And continued lag here. I think what I'm going to do is elect to cast this in chrono-cam, because this is not particularly conducive to enjoyable casting. We see here, I'll do that just after this little offensive, which is completely repulsed by Max before the bot factories are destroyed. But Orb has already now lost 6 mechs. He has got these expansions up here, however, he really needs to get more defense on such expansions. Max's next wave, however, is going to be bigger than the last. And with more bot factories continuing to be produced, Orb really needs to do something about this. Maybe transitioning to air is the way to go. Indeed, there it is, the T2 air is on the way. And this is where I decide to chrono-cam it. Right, so I'm now in chrono-cam with any luck. Just going to check that we are indeed recording, which we are. This is Max's offensive that we saw teleport in, rather. So I sort of came back for that. And we see how that is repulsed. The game hasn't finished yet. It's still going on, sort of chrono-camming as the game is slightly ahead, so in effect I'm getting a buffered video. As I said before, Max's next wave is going to be massive. He's going to have a lot of bot factories to come up following that as well, so he's going to have even more docks build power. It's already noted. The T2 air is on the way. Fab is there, bringing it up very quickly indeed, with 6 there. With any luck, he'll actually have the eco to support all of this, especially with his commander and his fabricator here, who's doing a tap dance behind the commander. So the commander can't even see the tap dance, so he can't even be entertained by that. And there is text in chat, and of course at this point I have to pop things up on various points of the screen, because otherwise you'll know who won, and so with any luck I managed to block that out effectively. So, indeed, so again a little bit more jiggery pokery around with chrono-cam, because of course I got plopped out of the game there when it went into the leaderboard, and I had a little bit of a panic attack because the review game button was greyed out, but then of course it loaded me back in, which was very nice of it. I need to thank chrono-cam for its nice service. Right, so we see all of these docks coming in from Max. Very large number of docks indeed. Interesting that we don't get any sound effects, that is curious. But the T2 air is now completed from Orb, so this might see a Peregrine first and then a Hornet, although depending on whether these docks get here, they do show themselves, so there'll likely be a Hornet first. As a result of these docks showing themselves, and the commander there showing himself as well, potentially not what he wants to do against such a large blob, because all those docks need to do are move in, and the commander's gone. But the Hornet is chosen and elected to go first. Fabricator's healing the commander as the docks desperately try and push in, but they're now against a couple of blobs of their own. The commander is body blocked and shielded by other docks. Interesting how chrono-cam lags out, I've never understood that. And Max's attack offensive is repulsed. He does not have vision on Orb's T2 air, which now is getting a second factory to bolster his supplies. Hornet's going to be coming out now constantly. Indeed, Max's next wave is beginning to be built. So we'll see these stream across the map very shortly. Orbs, however, has now got a decent enough defense against it, especially with the Hornets that will have their big reveal in this wave, I should suspect. Because, if need be, the Hornets have that bombing run capability to take down a huge swathe of these docks, especially if they're in single file like this. The Hornet can just target one nearer the back and just go whoosh straight through and annihilate a whole pack. Indeed, here it is. There's the big reveal of the Hornets. There go all the docks. Goodness me, that damage is immense. All Orb needs to do now is just hold off his own a little bit longer, while the Hornets continue to be a little bit of a pain for Max, if I'm honest. More damage done, and here it's almost like the Battle of Hastings. Orb goading the opposing forces up the hill, only to charge down on them with everything he's got. And there is annihilated max force. We do have a lot of fabricators assisting the T2 air now, and what? I didn't see that, actually. Goodness me. I was too focused on the T2 air. Let's go and have a look back at what that was, because I was not expecting that. I suspect these docks here managed to surprise the commander and catch him out in the open. That is all I can think it was. Oh no, they weren't even in the right place, so I think that was a suicidal kill from Max. We did see these docks move in here and take out a whole bunch of expansions down around the south. But as soon as he saw the T2 air, I'm pretty sure he realised he was probably on the back foot and really neglected air. And of course that would be when Max called the GG first, which of course I tried not to reveal. Good game, Max, good game, Orb. Commiserations, of course, to the losing red team. Congratulations to the winning purple team. You go through. Well, it's not an elimination, but you go through, of course, to the next tier of play, as it were, because this is a Swiss-style tournament. Thanks for watching, folks. Don't forget to pop a like if you liked it, etc, etc, etc. And at the moment, I'm really taking comments and feedback because I really want to make these casts better for you. Comments about the internet, it'll hopefully be better in about 5-6 weeks' time when I'm actually going home. So long as I'm at uni, the internet is going to be terrible because I'm in a student-rented house. But when I get home in about, as I say, 5 or 6 weeks, that's when the casts will be coming thick and fast your way. But anything else, you know, my casting style, what you'd prefer to see on my channel in regards to PA, maybe, you know, anything at all feedback related, or indeed just general comment related, it's all up to you. But I'd like to hear what you want to say. And on that note, thanks again for watching and supporting me, and as always, have a nice day.